My name is Adrian Lukis and I'm an actor. And here I am at the end of 2 weeks, and I don't know how much weight I've lost yet because I find out in the morning. Just give a little bit of my personal thing. I was feeling overweight, and I was overweight. I wasn't just feeling overweight, I was overweight. And so I thought, right, I'm going to take on a personal trainer in London, which I did. And he would come round to the house twice a week, knock on the door, we'd go out to the park, we'd do some stuff, and I thought, great, well, there we are, that's that then. I know, probably rather foolishly, sort of more or less continued my lifestyle. I don't eat fast food, but I eat quite big portions of food that I enjoy cooking, but that I would have cooked or my partner would have cooked. So the portions remain pretty much the same, and I thought, well, I've sort of done it now, I see the trainer. And on the other days, I'd, just go down to the park. If it was raining, I might not. I also belong to a gym, so it sort of slightly kick-started me to start going back to the gym. So I would go back to the gym, and I followed a sort of routine I did, which was more than the trainer had done with me, because I stopped seeing the trainer after a bit, because it was expensive, and I thought, well, I know what to do. And at the end of all that, 4 months or something, I found, I don't know if I shifted 2 or 3 pounds, maybe I did, but effectively I was the same guy, just a bit poorer, and a bit more disappointed, probably even possibly a bit fatter, I don't know. And then I heard about a boot camp, and it was like a little light went off. Somebody mentioned it, and I thought, do it, because it's 2 weeks of your life. It can't be that horrendous. Even if it is horrendous, 2 weeks of your life is only 2 weeks of your life. You'll survive it. And so I signed up, and of course what it gives you, because there's structure, and because as I said earlier, the physical demands are that much greater than you would ever demand of yourself in the gym, I suspect. Most of us, oh, I'm really tired now, I'll stop. Well, that's when they then they go, right, and we're going to do the whole set again. Now, if that frightens you, it should, but you will do it, and you will see results. And so that secure environment, very skillful trainers who are very committed to it, keep an eye on you and bully you, but are not bullies. Crucial difference. Very nice guys, and they produce results because it's consistent. And the diet is restricted as well, and it's proper food, and there's no sweets. And it works, and I just think, why didn't I do this 10 years ago? It's been absolutely remarkable experience. And I'll tell you why, because the course is very, very brilliantly structured. The food is ample, actually, weirdly. This is about a quarter of what I would normally eat, and I still don't quite know why this has happened, but you go out and you do your training sessions, and you come in and you have your food, and normally it wouldn't touch the sides of your hunger, but here for some reason it does, and you feel fine. It's very hard at times. I think everyone finds it hard, because you're being pushed to the limits of what you think you can do, beyond actually what you think you can do. So you think, well, I can't do another 20 press-ups, and then they say, well, you have to, and you do somehow. You sort of labour your way through them. Which brings me on to the trainers. All quite hard on you, quite sort of army. I would say the regimen when you first arrive is quite army. It's quite a shock when you come out of the outside world and you arrive here, and suddenly you're being told to line up here, actually, where we are now. And I think on the first day somebody was a bit late, and we were immediately all told to do 10 press-ups. Somebody else hadn't filled their water bottle up, which is another rule. You're going to have your water bottle filled. And I think it was another 10 press-ups. So by the time we got to the first thing, we were all completely shattered on the first morning. But they're fantastic guys, and the sort of penny dropped for me after 2 or 3 days, where instead of feeling antagonistic towards one of them in particular, I felt very antagonistic towards, or a bit antagonistic towards. I was a bit sort of, well, who used to tell me to, a little bit of that was, which I think probably everyone brings in from the outside world. Very, very good at monitoring us all seeing if they think we're slacking a bit, and therefore we can be pushed a bit harder, or whether we're genuinely, as I did get a bit of a thing in my back, an old standing injury. But then they just adjusted the program completely. I'm full of thanks and goodwill, I suppose, to this place, because it's not only physically very rewarding, but also, in a strange way, there's a fantastic camaraderie, not just with the trainers, but with the other people who are here on the course, and you get to know each other, quite well, I think, and you see each other in tough situations. You see people feeling a bit sorry for themselves sometimes, a bit weepy occasionally, thinking, they can't do any more, and then they do, and then you see that sort of worry and concern filled with a sort of pride and a sort of can-do spirit. It's really extraordinary, and I've met some terrific people over here in the last 2 weeks. Wonderful people. The thing that surprised me most was the requirement that you simply keep going. By the time we'd done the first workout on the first day in that studio now, that would have done me in at home. That would have completely done me in, and I'd have been very, very pleased with myself. Probably gone off and eaten a huge fry-up and sort of to reward myself for all the pain I've been through. And here, you very quickly realise, oh no, that's just, no. Now you're going to have a poached egg and a bit of bacon. First of all, you realise, you do that first thing and you're half dead. But then you have your little breakfast, and then you think, well, that should all be over. And then they summon you out front again, you know which time to go. And they take you up there onto the assault course. I'm getting flashbacks as I speak. They take you up there, and they flog you around the assault course for 45 minutes, and you think, well, now I'm completely done and dusted, there's nothing left. And then you come in, you have a little snack, always very tasty, and then you go out again and you do another. Otherwise, what surprised me was the sheer amount of work that we were expected to do, and the trainers do expect you to do it, and if you don't do it, they chiver you along, and then suddenly you've done it, and that's the extraordinary thing, and that's also very surprising. And there are people of all shapes and all sizes, there are people here with eating disorders, and there are all sorts of people for all sorts of reasons. I think someone was here with depression, and absolutely fantastic, because of course you gain more in confidence and you can feel yourself stronger. I can feel myself stronger now, considerably stronger than I was 2 weeks ago. Biggest thing I'm going to take away from here that I can put into my own life now is a feeling that I can do it, and I am now much fitter than I was, and I've lost weight and I feel much stronger. That kick-start that I was looking for has been provided. It's given me that, and you also, I would say, there's an enormous amount of information that you're given. You have talks on nutrition, you have talks on how to survive when you get back home, excuse me, how best to continue your work and without getting disheartened, and people talk about that in the group. They break it down into why you shouldn't eat this, and why this form of exercise is good, and the best forms of exercise to take, and it's it's a very varied program here, and I've just had a whale of a time. I've just really had a whale of a time, and I was just walking along, having we'd had a really hard day the day before. It's another clever thing they do is they alternate very, very hard days with long walks. 8, 9, 10 miles, but through this beautiful country. And it was a lovely day. So we'd had a really tough day the day before, and we were walking around out here in this very quiet rural area with just farms and the odd church, and beautiful day. And I was wandering on, and I thought, God, I'm so lucky to be here. Isn't life a fantastic thing? All bit spiritual, and I really like these people. So I had I suppose what you could say, a really deep feeling of contentment, and that's hard to get. People think they'll get it if they fly to Barbados and stay in a 5-star hotel, but there's nothing quite like, I think, pushing yourself very hard physically. You get a very, very satisfying feeling of I've done everything I can. And so, you know, aesthetically very beautiful, physically very tired but very fulfilled, wonderful group of people. Who would I recommend it to? Well, I would say I can't think anyone wouldn't benefit. Everyone should come and visit, and everyone should come to this boot camp. This is the one.